because there's a few that aren't here but want to be here tonight. So welcome everybody to the Co-Creators Convergence third Thursday call. Today is May 16th and on planet Earth. It's a great day on planet Earth, and because all of us are able to be in this circle together. There will be others that join us, I'm sure, and there will be, let's see, we're missing one of our weavers. We'll describe weavers here in just a moment. And we have a third Thursday call every month where we typically have a quote guest, although since we're all one, there really are no guests. And this is an unusual call because we've invited everyone who's already registered for this year's Convergence starting on June 12th, and a number of people who want to be here haven't made their final decision yet. I'm not going to mention any names, Shelley and Linda. And it's an opportunity for us to say hello to folks that are here for the first time this year. So we're very excited about doing that. The Convergence is organized. We don't use terms that are like conference and workshop and seminar and retreat, and we try not to use a term like planning or organizing committee either. So the name we give to those that have stepped forward to weave together what is brought to the circle by all participants, we refer to as the weavers. And excuse me, on the call tonight are weavers Leanne. Wave, Leanne, for those that have a phone. I mean, have a picture. Dina next to her. Karen up there in our top right corner, calling in from Maui. And David Powell from a long time San Diego, but not anymore. He's in Albuquerque. And Sheila, can you hear us? You're on the phone? Sheila Blake, for those of you that can have a visual, you can see her name there. I'm sure she'll be in two-way communication momentarily. So what we typically do, and we would like to do this evening, is do a centering, and I'll ask one of the weavers if they want to step forward to do a centering. And then what we thought we'd do is each of us weavers tell you a little bit about ourselves and how we came to be a part of this circle, keeping that brief, and then talk about how the convergence rolls out, about the processes and that sort of thing, and answer every question, and any questions that you all might have. And also this evening, we'd like to kind of open it up to any other ideas you might have. There's some particular areas that we're interested in your feedback and your ideas. So with that, would any of the weavers like to step forward and bring us into center? I can't tell if David's stepping forward physically or whether he's volunteering or what.
I feel like David was stepping forward.
It seemed like it, yeah.
Karen, why don't you bring in some Hawaiian juju for us?
Yeah.
I'm happy to, yes, I'm sitting in the, some say the heart chakra of the planet on Maui. So why don't we just take a moment to actually just, if you're on screen, just sort of take a moment to look into each other's eyes. And if you're on the telephone, feel from the heart into each one of us. And then taking a deep breath, close our eyes. And just allowing your body to take a moment to be supported. If you feel to put your hand on your heart, you may, or a breath, or a thought, or a feeling. Just connecting us a little more deeply in this beautiful convergence of time and hearts and energy. And with the pureness that love is, we welcome each and every one of us. We welcome those who have felt that call in their heart to see what this Co-Creators Convergence is all about. And I invite each one of you from your heart to offer a feeling into the circle. And as we do that, notice the expansion of your own heart field, or the softening or the strengthening of connection. Taking a deep breath from the infinite space of love and light, with gratitude for bringing us all together in this moment and again in June. So aloha.
Aloha. Ah, wonderful. Typically on our third Thursday calls, which many of you have been on, we describe the co-creators convergence for posterity's sake, since all of our calls are put on our website, and we also show a little 3-minute video. Many of you have seen that already, so we want to skip over that. And I do want to mention, though, we've got 4 newcomers on the line right now, and there are at least 4 more, maybe 6 more that are already registered. That'll be their first year. It'll be their first year. And so I do want to mention to everyone, there are 4 ways that this community connects with each other, in addition to through all the time and space and heart energy. We have a very active Facebook page, and we have a website. We have the third Thursday calls, and we also have these the live event in June. And I want to clarify also for any folks that are new and that will listen to this recording later, that our Facebook page is the Co-Creators Facebook page. That has been going on for many, many years. It's very active. It's got, what, 1,500 people probably on it, Noel? And something like that. And then each year we have a dedicated private group just for those that have registered for this year. So there's a Co-Creators Convergence 2019 page where we communicate with each other, welcome new people as they register, an opportunity there to coordinate rides together or come up with ideas or however you might want to use it. I realize that there are a number of people this year that are registered that are first timers that do not do Facebook, and so we do our best to
The
continue
youngsters.
to continue to communicate. So what I'd like to do is let all of the Weavers start by just sharing a few minutes about either how they became engaged in this community, what it has meant to them, or anything else they want to talk about, introduce themselves, where they alight on the planet, and get you to know them a little bit better, and then we'll talk more about the convergence itself. Who'd like to go first?
I'm happy to start, Karen. And I've known Bob and Noel for many, many years. We walked together for several years studying and expanding our consciousness, our spiritual path. And as soon as I heard that this was happening 7 years ago, Noel continued to invite me to the convergence. I always wanted to be there. And I was also completing a really amazing project, so to speak, which was raising my children. So as soon as my youngest son went off to college, I was at the CCC event. And although I had already felt this before I arrived, being there was an immediate recognition of just home and soul family, and so easy to collectively, consciously, lovingly work together in circle and really weave. I love the weave term, and co-create, to live the reality that we are all are aware of in our hearts of what we can be doing here on this planet. So I look forward to meeting all of you.
Thanks, Karen. Go ahead, ladies.
Leanne and Dina.
Yes, go ahead. Hi, everyone. My name's Leanne, and this will be my 3rd year at CCC, my 2nd year of being a weaver, and my 3rd year. Bob and Noel and I go back, I can't remember how many years, not as many as Karen, but definitely we have a deep relationship. And I have a hard time really explaining what CCC is, because it's so profound. It is that co-creation where everybody is showing up and sharing and learning and connecting on on a level that I've just never experienced in any other events or retreats. So it can be intense, but it's so full of joy and growth and expansion. So I'm so looking forward to June. We've been working on this for several months. And just really, really excited to be with all of you. So welcome to all the new people and all the people that I know from past years. I can't wait to see you. Yay. I'm Dina. I'm from Ohio, and I found out about CCC through this one right here. And this is my first year as a weaver, my second year at the Convergence. And what I really loved about it was last year our theme was Heartful Co-Creators, and what it really just resonated with me, and a room full of magic and magical people with beautiful hearts and amazing souls, and people who, whether I ever went again or not, would be lifelong friends. So just really excited to see and to meet you if it's your first time, or maybe you've been away for a little while and coming back. It's we have some really amazing adventures planned. So yay.
Sheila, you're speaking, but there's nothing, we're not hearing you.
Hear you, Sheila.
We can't hear you, Sheila.
We see you, and we see your name elsewhere on the phone, but we don't hear you yet. David, why don't you go ahead, and we'll wait for Sheila to get two-way communication.
So Tally and I have been going to the CCC. This is our 7th year. We've gone to every one so far. And it's, so I found out about it through her. And so it was basically through Barbara Marks Hubbard that we got involved. You know, that was, Tally had become involved with Barbara, and I didn't know really what it was about the first year. I mean, I just sort of went because Tally was going, and it was a surprise. And you know, I'm a pretty shy person, and it wasn't easy for me to be with all these people that I didn't know, but I just felt so comfortable there. You know, they made me feel so welcome, and they just welcomed me with open arms, and I just felt such a amount of love from everybody. And I can see people on this call that I know that haven't maybe aren't going to be there, but and it makes me a little bit sad, because like Shelley and Linda, I would love to see you guys. So just to let you know. And yeah, it's been a real growth experience for me personally, because I feel like I've come a long way since that first time, and I feel like my voice of co-creation is finally coming out, and I'm really welcoming this opportunity. And I think there's so many, you know, it is hard to describe what the CCC is. It's really experiential, but it's a way that people like us, like all of us, can share who we are in a co-creative way. And that's the best way I can say it.
Thanks, David. We really appreciate you and Talia, and the commitment that you have to the community. And I am one that has witnessed your change as you have mine, and I really, really appreciate your part in the convergence, brother. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sheila, are you with us in both directions?
I don't know.
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me?
Go. Sheila Blake.
Yay. Well, I see a lot of familiar faces today. So those of you who know me, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I started coming to Co-Creators Convergence in 2014, I believe. 2015, that's it. Right after I retired from working at the city of Houston. I met Bob and Noel here in Houston. They just showed up one day when I was doing a presentation for the Pachamama Alliance. It was rather unique because that monthly meeting, they were the only two people who showed up other than the leaders, which was kind of funny, but I think that was a divine appointment, because definitely the rest is history for us. We've been involved in a lot of different things together, but when I first came to the Co-Creators Convergence and met so many awesome people, I was just blown away. My impression at first was that it was about being in a resonant field together, which was new terminology for me, but I soon learned that it was creating a harmonious group. Some of us call it a love fest, or I called it a love vortex. I also saw it as a way for me to sort of engage in processes that really made me feel like I was raising my vibrational frequency. In fact, I remember Linda doing a process with us with some sacred chanting. My body started literally vibrating, like I had this buzzing feeling electrically going through my body in that process. And I fell in love with everybody who was there, and which is unusual for me. I actually knew everybody's name and was engaged with them. And, you know, sometimes I can be kind of shy, but I've been coming out of my shell as well, like David was talking about. And I'm really looking forward to the exploration we're going to do with Voice of Co-Creation this year. So thanks.
Thanks, Sheila. That's wonderful. Well, we have time. I'd like to ask the people, 3 are on the call here that have been to either 7 or 6 of the convergences, or all but one, Shelley, Linda, and Talia, to share just a quick introduction of yourself. Oh, and maybe in this one, too. I'm sorry, my beloved Noelle, so near and yet so forgotten, but not really. To share, all of you go to other types of events. Maybe you could introduce yourself quickly and mention how you feel this community is different than other communities that you treasure.
Can I go first?
Yeah, please.
I asked to go first because several people mentioned how difficult it is to say what the Co-Creators Convergence is. And when it first happened, it was a celebration for Barbara Marks Hubbard receiving the Spiritual Leadership Award from Humanities Team. And we were invited, all her students were invited to come to Sunrise Ranch and have a retreat, and then Barbara would get the award. And so with the help of others, there were 6 of us that became the team. Linda was one of them, and co-created an event. And that was supposed to be it. That was it. It was a wonderful event. But then the energy, and it was so magical, someone, Linda, said, we've got to do this again. So that's how it became perpetuated. And then at first, the first couple years, the planners, we were planners then, we were stewards of it. We planned everything, all the activities. And then we got to thinking like, well, we're not even practicing co-creation. So as you know now, that when we establish a theme, and that's a process, very loving one, and Spirit helps us out. We establish a theme, and then as you register, we invite you, whether you've attended before or not, to contribute. If you have something, you know, people say, hey, that's my topic, that's my thing, that's my whatever. And so then we invite, and then that's why the weavers are called what they do, because they're really just weaving together the input from those who want to come and co-create. So that's why we can never say what it is, because it's made up. It's made up. And but I just can tell you that we're in circle, we have fun, but we like to go deep as well. So that's just a little bit of a background about the Co-Creators Convergence. And so Bob and I have kind of been the mom and pop for the organization. Anybody else wants to step up is welcome. So I'm complete. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. Shelley, you want to go next?
Hi, everyone. I'm Shelley Darling, and I've been there every year except for 1 year when I was in Australia. And I will just say that for me, it was very obvious coming from a place of going to many retreats and experiences that there was nothing like this experience, because it was all about the heart, and it was coming together from that place. And when it's a shared vision coming from the heart, then like Noelle said, and Dina said, it's a sense of coming home, and it's a safe space to really explore and to unite in a way that isn't propelled by motivation, or isn't propelled by somebody wanting to do this or do that. It's propelled because we're all standing at the edge of evolution itself. And I think that was really the gift that Barbara gave everyone, was, what's it really like to stand at the edge of evolution as a collective, and co-create and weave and practice that, be able to do that. So for me, it's been just the deepest experience. And Bob and Noelle hold this really impeccable space, and all the weavers, as they shift, every couple of years, it allows for that new energy to keep developing, and for the field. So for me, I'm all about field resonance, and the field gets to speak in this environment in a way that I have never seen in any other summit or organizational coming together. So yeah, that's it. And you're very blessed. I won't be there this year, and it's mainly being mindful of my body, and I'm traveling to Europe. So I had to make a decision. So, but I am with you all, and that's why I wanted to come on this call, because it means so much to me.
Thank you, Shelley. We really appreciate it. We'll be sad to not have you visibly in the circle, but know you're here. And as you know, we have the class photos from all of the convergences that are on the altar. So you are with us indeed. Thank you so much. Linda, would you like to share for a moment?
Did you mute her? There she goes.
Yes and no. I just love these people, all of you. I have been part of the original What in the World Are We Doing team. And we can see over 7 years what really has evolved and how much we've all grown and changed. And I just honor each person for being understanding without knowing how to be in this field of love. And it perpetuates itself when you're there from day to day to day to day. So I'm so torn, but this would be my first year not coming to the convergence. I've been there for, is this the 7th year? Oh man, well, there's just so much tugging at me. It's all good. And I just have to make some decisions and make some priorities. And although the CCC is always a priority, I just have other things that are brewing that I need to take a little break. But I am here on this call, and I will be there that week, whether I'm there physically or not. I will be right there every single day. I've got it on my calendar, even though I wouldn't be there in person. And Leanne and I had such a wonderful conversation about what might happen at this Voicing Your Truth experience. So I hope that you'll take whatever we talked about and run with it. And Sheila, thank you for your call. I wanted to get back to you too. I just am so daggone in love with everybody here that I want to give everyone a hug, and I want to really be there in person. But so forgive me, but I will be with you in spirit. And I encourage you to encourage your friends. At the beginning of the call, I was texting people to say, get on this call, because they've been asking me now for 6 years, what is this co-creators convergence you keep going to? And I really want them to experience it. And if not this year, then next year. But in finding my voice, I had to really speak my truth with compassion and love, and tell you that this is what I'm doing. Just gonna love more. Is that backwards, or can you see it? It looks backwards.
No, we can see it.
Oh, it's absolutely a lovely view. Thank you.
So, so I'm loving more, and I'll just turn this over to everybody else. But I'm right with you. Oh my gosh, it kind of breaks my heart to say, I'm not going to see you and hug you next month, but it'll come the next year.
I say never say never.
Yep.
Never.
That's right.
You know what? I could surprise myself and show up.
Your chair will be waiting for you.
Shelley, I'm not hemming and hawing. I pretty much have made my decision. Shelley said I did that.
All right. Thank you, Linda. We're going to call on Talia, this is really. You can see how much we're expanding. Sheila's on here 3 times now.
I'm still.
This is how much we're
I
expanding.
always have technical difficulties.
It's just making me dizzy. It's making all the pictures.
I'm sorry.
It's
Okay.
great. Hi, Talia.
Hi,
Please introduce
There's
yourself.
Talia.
I'm Talia, next to David. But, oh my goodness. So doggone in love with all of these people, says Linda. I have to say it kind of grows on you that way. I would just, it makes me sad to think that Linda and Shelley wouldn't be there. But it really is something special that happens. I was listening to, my friend and guide Cryon, who maybe some of you listened to. He was saying that, during this evolutionary process that's happening now, you'll meet with certain people, be drawn toward certain people who are your soul family. And that's what it is, for me. I mean, I recognized it when we first got together with Barbara Marx Hubbard, some of us in her, in a program that evolved from her ACEs program into a mentee program. And somebody asked me, why did I want to be part of that group? And I said, well, there's a community of people that I just like to be part of. Just like to be there with them. And Barbara was a wonderful teacher. There was something about the community of people who drew together around her that I loved. It just touched my heartstrings. And I think it is that soul family. I recognize that now. We are here to elevate our souls to their purpose. And here we are to help us. And there's Barb and Flo Barbara and her daughter, is it?
No, it's Nicole and Jen.
Oh, wow, great. Well,
wow.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it's Carlo.
How are you?
Good
to see you.
This is a Dom and Her convergence at
Convergence.
Taco's house.
Jennifer's kitchen.
We recognize that.
And Jennifer Kitchen is it's a conference room.
Oh, gee.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
What a
this
treat.
is
What a treat.
great.
Did I see Nicole there also?
Yep. Hi.
Woohoo! Hi. Awesome.
Wow.
Great.
Great. Well, there's really a lot more happening here than.
Sorry, Talia, we didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine, and I can cut this short. And I just say I love you all, and I'm just gonna be so happy to see you, my new emerging soul family. Oh, I just wanted to say one thing. The growth you experience, I mean, the growth I've experienced in myself and in each one who's come up through this time. My soul family is emerging, and I am grateful for that. Love you.
Thank you,
Love you.
Talia. We
Thank
look
you,
forward to
Talia.
seeing you soon. For benefit of those that are on the phone, Donna Forrest and Teresa, the surprise was that we were getting excited about was that some regular CCCers, Barb Bonamasso and Nicole, popped in, and she popped in with three additional people. One of whom is one of the ambassadors from Dominer, who are all assembled in a kitchen in Wexford, Pennsylvania right now. So we're really blessed blessed to have your energy. And I want to acknowledge Teresa. I see the name on the screen. I'm assuming, Teresa, you are Mila's friend who is considering coming to the convergence this year. Is that correct?
Yes. Can you hear me? I don't have video.
Yes, we don't see your video, but we do hear you.
Okay.
Yes, in the lower left-hand corner, it should say start video if you're on the computer.
I keep clicking and it keeps going back to a little red line over it. So I'm not sure why.
Well, then if you click it and there's not a red line, your video should be working if the camera on your computer is working and it is not covered up with something.
Yeah, no, so I have no idea. It keeps going back to the red line. Sorry about that.
That's
anyway.
Okay. We're very glad to have you with us this evening. We really appreciate it. So for those that have just joined from Pennsylvania, we were just, the Weavers for this year were all sharing their experiences and how we came into the convergence, particularly for the benefit of those that are new this year. 4 people that are on the call tonight will be at their first convergence, and there'll be many more, probably 6 more, I think, that are listening to this recording later that will be their first year this year. And so we just also asked some of the very original folks like Linda and Shelley to share with us. So I'd like to ask if one of the Weavers, maybe Sheila, it would be most...
Can I say something first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that this is a family, the extended family, and Mila Popovich was with us in 2016. And some of you probably remember the beautiful dancing that she does. And Teresa is a friend of hers, and they have done some beautiful art creations, actually very related to Barbara Marx Hubbard's teachings. And we saw some pictures of that, and we're hoping she and is it Maxwell will be able to join us also and share the pictures that Mila sent us. Unfortunately, Mila can't be with us, but the pictures they sent us were absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So, Teresa, do you want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, and actually, we're doing part 2. If anyone's welcome to come first. The 7th of June at the French Alliance at 7 o'clock. We're doing the second part of the performance. And so what we're doing, as you know, Mila does a lot of avant-garde, amazing creative work. And what she's doing an interpretation of the art piece, which started back in 2013 from a dream. And I literally put the brush down probably about 2 weeks ago. And so she's interpreting creation from the beginning, everything, how the journey, and then this second part that we're going to do a performance next month is the journey back home through time, the destroyer. And so we're putting that part of it together. But it's really about leaving creation, becoming separate but one, and then coming back into the journey, back into home, going back home pretty much. That's the short version of what it is. But yeah, and so the painting is one way, and in June we're going to flip the painting. It's about 24 feet. We're going to flip it, reverse it the opposite way, and now that's another story that it talks about. So it's very different. It's very different.
Well, thank you. This is Bob, and thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you for being on the line tonight and considering the possibility of being able to join us for the entire convergence. So which of the Weavers was reaching out to Teresa? I can't remember.
I did. I wanted to add real quickly, Bob. I mean, this is the beauty. This is how the weave and the co-create, when we co-create, this is how it works. So Mila and Teresa were talking, and Mila all of a sudden just said, I've got to call Bob and Noel. I think you'd love to be a part of this group, you and Maxwell, and what you're offering. And so after talking today, we're seeing possibly Teresa can come. Yet there's also an opportunity, maybe that there's an evening where they all three could maybe come. The artwork, it's a possibility if Teresa's able to make the days work and come, that the artwork could be at the Co-Creators Convergence that whole time. But that's just the beauty of, and actually what I love when we ended our call today, Teresa, is when you just said, and if it works, if it doesn't work for this year, something maybe for next year, yet if it works, we'll hold the space for that.
Exactly.
And so there's a lot of possibility when we all are able to hold it in that vastness.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so I do appreciate the opportunity to talk to everybody and kind of connect and see how it goes, how it co-creates itself.
Wonderful, Teresa. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you two finally made the connection today. That's fantastic. So I was going to ask Sheila, are you still, yeah, you're still with us two-way, maybe to talk a little bit more. Noelle described how the process has come together, but maybe you could just generally explore how that's done, where we are in the process right now, less than a month out, and then we'd like to open things up. We'll talk about a couple of other specifics and then open it up for questions and ideas and thoughts.
Can I say something before that?
Again?
I'm going to butt in again. It's not too late to invite your other friends.
Absolutely.
And people to come to this amazing event. And Jennifer, I saw one of your eyeballs was coming into the camera there. So she was a weaver for the past 2 years and has taken us twice to Damanhur, where Crotolo lives, to the Damanhur community. It's absolutely amazing. And so hope she's going to be making it also. And
Absolutely.
She's a very important part of our family as well.
Right.
But, there's still time for other people. We have space, probably about 10 more. There we are. That was the first trip.
Wow.
That's great.
Jennifer's just showing a picture on her phone to our screen.
Yeah, thanks,
Jennifer.
So anyway, and Crotolo will probably see you in Boulder. So it's not too late to invite others.
That's right.
So
Sheila?
Okay, well, I'm so happy to see the Damanhurians here as well. I went on the trip last time, this is your second time, and just continue to marvel and tell people about it and introduce people who've never heard of it. So just want to give a shout out to all of you for making that possible for many of us to experience. So the process it is a co-creators convergence, and the Weavers have been meeting since September by phone from different states, almost every single call. And we've been excited about, putting together the theme for this year. That amazing artwork that all of you have seen took a while to get, and thank you for Leanne for arranging that. So there's a process of getting ready in all of the logistical ways, and then in the spring we start really start weaving together our ideas for the processes. And we're now in the process of weekly calls and talking about all the things that we can do as weavers. But at the same time, we've extended the invitation. It's completely optional to all the participants to recommend a process or suggest one. So here we are. We're interviewing people, kind of getting clarification. We've spoken with quite a few of our attendees and been surprised that some of the brand new attendees even are offering processes, which is really interesting and cool. We're doing our best to incorporate everything that people suggest, and while sometimes there may be a few processes that dovetail together, we're going to be asking people to co-create together, to weave those together. We may have a breakout session during the convergence as we're just about to the point of getting the whole schedule ironed out, and you're going to find a mix. Our goal is to have quite a few different types of experiences each day, some that are participatory, some that are meditative, some that are movement, and then some time on your own to allow people to integrate and to socialize. So we're still interviewing some of the last few people who made some suggestions, and we're well on our way, and it's weaving together nicely. It's been neat to see the creativity that's coming in amongst ourselves and from others who are participating. I think that's it.
Thanks so much, Sheila. Great description. And so it is a very serious event, and sometimes we also have fun. We have traditionally, I just want to share with folks that are coming for the first time, we traditionally the first night have a fire up at the fire pit on the Red Rock Ledge. And so we're looking forward to that. And some of the suggestions that by people so far have been some things that maybe we can do that evening, but we're open for other ideas as well. And I want to talk just for a moment about the end of the convergence, and then kind of open it up for anybody, any questions or thoughts or ideas or anything else you want to share. We conclude on Sunday at before lunch, and lunch is included as one of your 3 meals, dinner, breakfast, lunch, in that order for each night. And so we finish with lunch, and then after that, we clean up the room and give it back to the ranch. But we also have had a tendency for a number of years now to have a hard time getting people to go home because they all want to stay here and they want to stay together. And it is beautiful and wonderful. And so many folks that come from a distance or even that have driven decide to stay overnight. You should make your reservations with the ranch if you want to do that, or you already have. And we tend to do something that evening, whether we have food at the ranch or we go into town to do something or go swimming. And some folks remain over into Monday as well. Last year we went to the Shambhala Retreat Center, which is about an hour and a half north of here. And I think there were probably 10 or 12 of us that went there. Some went straight to the airport from there. So, so if your plans allow for you to remain over a little bit more, let's do that and let's continue to play. With that, I want to open up to any of the
Are you going to say about the swimming suits?
Oh yeah, we'll say bring your swimming suits. Yes, there's a swimming pool at Sunrise Ranch, and we don't know what might happen on Sunday and Monday afterwards as well. Maybe we'll end up at the rec center in Loveland. So I'd like to ask if the Weavers have anything else they want that we should cover that we haven't yet, and then let's just open this open mic for everybody. Any Weavers? Yes, no? Looking at each other? No?
I was just thinking, you might want to just sort of outline what the experience would be for a person who's coming the first time in terms of arrival and, you know, sort of give a little timeline of how that might work and what to expect.
Sure, just as far as that first day?
Yeah, sort of some logistics, yeah.
Sure. A number of you and people have found it very comfortable if they're coming a long distance to get here the day before and to be at the ranch the evening before. We set up in the room, we start to decorate and set up the room the evening before after dinner. That would be Tuesday night and on Wednesday morning.
Can people help with that?
And people can help with that. Some of you check that box on the Survey Monkey that you're willing to help us decorate and things like that, do set up. And then on Wednesday morning, the 12th, we'll have registration in the registration area, the lobby, the living room of the pavilion. And we'll have registration there. And some folks who are coming shorter distances will arrive during the morning. And when you go into the accommodations at the ranch for the new people, they actually land you and tell you all the logistics and how the food services work and your rooms and all of that sort of thing. And we like to get all that out of the way if we possibly can before lunch. Our contract does not include people who come in on Wednesday morning. Your lunch is not included.
You can make a donation, though.
You can make a donation and eat lunch with us that day, because we're going to start promptly at 1 o'clock after lunch on Wednesday the 12th. And so it's wonderful to get you to have you come in by mid-morning or late morning. Also, if you've come in an evening before on Tuesday, that lunch is included. So ask me if you have any additional questions about that.
I'm going to say that you should have filled out your meal preferences when you registered. They have vegan, vegetarian, and regular, and they accommodate all. I will also say wear stretch pants because
What?
wear stretch
What?
pants because the food is so good. You are going to be so fed.
Linda.
So, I want you to be comfortable. Although you don't have to, bend the elbow. You can pass it up, but it's pretty darn good food. And a lot of it's grown here and raised here on the farm. So look forward to that.
Thank you.
So I think they're going to set the registration table up at 10 o'clock. So between 10 and noon, you can register, but then somebody will be there during lunch anyway. And then I think we start, and the room where you come in to register for us as well as for your room, you'll have to sign a liability form for the ranch, and then you will register with us. And then all of our main meetings are down below on the lower level. The top level is registration and cafeteria. And then the lower level is where the Green Ridge meeting room is.
Thanks.
Does
All
that
right.
help, Sheila?
Does that help?
Yeah, sure. I'm also thinking about things like bring a water bottle. You're going to be sending out a letter just about before the event with all those sort of details about bringing your own water bottle, if possible, shuttles from the airport, things like that. So I guess that's, we can probably just answer questions.
Yeah, let's do that. So who has questions or thoughts or suggestions or want to give a poem or sing a song?
We'll take Shelley those.
I just have something. I would really love to meet the new people if they feel like they want to just put their name in the circle and share what's compelling them to come. Or I don't know. That's me. I don't know about anybody else. But
Thank you, Shelley. That's a wonderful idea.
oh.
Any of our first timers like to introduce themselves to all of us here and watching the recording? Go ahead.
We could say greetings from South Dakota. Hello, this is Kate. I've been with you 2 years before. I've met some of the most talented and profound people there. And I knew that you were all disciples of Barbara. And it's so fascinating to me. I said, I got to go again. I love them all. I support you all in your efforts. And a week before Barbara passed, I registered for the class, because we always get to have that intimate time with Barbara. And and I got to tell you, my first experience at the Co-Creators Convergence, I was greeted by beautiful Talia at the tree. That I guess has been quite significant in years past. And I saw David Powell in an astronaut outfit, and they gave me a book by Edgar Mitchell. I thought the man was Edgar Mitchell. And I've now been in circle with wise elder, and it's been wonderful since. So, I'm a veteran of now 3 years because I just found that it was, and the pathway to truth, I also felt really spoke to my heart, that it was something that I really feel sincere about. And so I'd like you to meet my longtime friend. This is Mark Salisbury. And Mark is going to come, and I'll let him speak.
Hi.
First.
I'm a conscious grandparent, and I just think that we should lead by what we do and not what we tell people, and I think it's so, I'm just that kind of a person, and that's what we do around here in South Dakota. We help, and we just try to lead others that way. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And that's what we believe in. We just believe in doing the right thing and teaching it to our grandchildren, and because that's what's important. That's the road. And it's so important. I hope that's the way that you guys look at it.
Oh yeah.
We look forward to having you with us, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
And my mama was a South Dakota native.
You're kidding me.
Standing Rock Reservation, actually.
Oh, come on.
Little town, Timberlake, South Dakota.
My dad was born in Dupree, which is out there
on
the reservation too. So We've had a long-standing relationship with natives, and that's just part of our culture. We're just we're not discriminate to anybody. We everybody has an equal share of proving who they are and they're showing their merits and
Awesome.
leading themselves to be great people.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Thank you and welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Other first year folks, anyone like to introduce themselves?
Rob.
Gee.
Or Don.
How about Angie?
There you go.
Why did I know you were going to say that? Hi, I'm Angie. I was invited by Kathy Mason, and we run in a lot of the same circles, and if she says something is good, you should go, I tend to do that. She's actually also my agent. And I am a Christologist, a psychic. I teach mystery school traditions, and I'm a psychic surgeon, and I think there's a few other things. Oh yeah, I manufacture orgone generators, and I have a small lab making carbon-60 oils. And all of this has one thing in common: the evolution of consciousness. So to me, this is just another playground, right? Co-creating with other beautiful human beings, and we bring in, each one of us comes in with our own frequency, our own flavor that we add to whatever the creation is. So this is exciting. There's going to be a lot of people to co-create with. I wonder what we'll make.
Thank you, Angie.
Speaking of making, are the Weavers inviting people to bring any product this year or services for sale?
Karen,
we have done that in the past.
Karen, I see you shaking your head.
Where's Karen?
There she is.
We have, I mean, that's part of the beauty of us all coming together. We haven't worked out details to the pinpoint yet of, how that will unfold, yet certainly there will be opportunity for people to, offer what their offerings are. And when we, as it gets closer, like a week or so away, and when we get a letter out, we'll add those details with that letter that comes before we all pack up and arrive.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Angie. We're very excited to have you
I've
with
been
us
to Angie's store. I want her products.
We're really pleased you're going to be in the circle, Angie.
Thank you. Thank you, Noelle and Bob. I appreciate I'm excited.
Thank you. And as you mentioned, Kathy Mason, I want to do a special shout out to Kathy. She is perpetually talking about the convergence to folks that flow in her circles in Boulder and Northern Colorado and around the world. And so we always appreciate it. She had sent her apologies earlier because she had a client this evening, but I know she'll be watching this call. So we love you, Kathy. We're so happy that all the folks that you've brought to this community. Thank you. Let's see, Don or Rob, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Why don't we let's go with Rob, because he kind of goes with Angie.
Okay.
They're coming together.
I've tried to unmute you. There you go.
I'm good. Can you see me still?
We can see you and hear you. Thank you, Rob.
Great. Yeah, I'm Rob. I live in Colorado Springs. Angie told me all about this, and I trust her judgment, and sounds like she highly recommends this, and it's going to be fun. I'm a Qigong and yoga instructor. I do a lot of energy healing. I do volunteer work with cancer patients, and I work with traumatized animals a lot to help them release all the emotional trauma they have through energy healing. And that's about it. I live here in the Colorado Springs.
Wow. Thank you. We're excited for you to be with us, Rob. And one of the things we've done very informally, or just kind of unfolds through the convergence times, is some folks get up in the morning and do yoga or qigong or whatever before we even go.
Tai Chi one year.
Yeah, before breakfast. And there's just beautiful areas to walk here for the sunrises. A number of people on this call have some personal friendships with some owls on the property and so we're really delighted you're going to be here. Have you ever been to Sunrise Ranch?
No, I haven't. Looking forward to it.
Wonderful. We're glad you're going to be with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. You bet. And Don, would you like to introduce yourself? Also sent by Kathy Mason.
Hi, my name is Don Lynch. Yeah, I'm another cohort with Kathy, and she insisted that I come to this. So it's kind of I've never been to anything like this before.
You're right.
And it's, and I have I've been to like ESOM and scientific type conferences and stuff. But I've never done anything like this. The video with the people running around with colored scarves that was the seller for me.
There you go. You never know.
Hey, you never know. I forget who brought that process.
Me too.
Cool.
I know Barb was in that picture and Linda. Yeah.
Now, Don, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kathy says you have 5G expertise. Is that correct?
I have. Well, first of all, I'm basically a very, very sensitive empath, and I have a special twist that was gifted to me, and I have the ability to relieve points of resistance in people's bodies. And so, if we take your cell phone, for instance, and hold up next to your body, it creates points of resistance in your body, and I have an ability to help you and develop a way to actually take those points of resistance out, and your body will literally instantly get stronger, and you will feel it. And that's like the basic rundown, and I'm looking forward to meeting some of these people in this group because obviously some of them are aliens.
Well, thank you. On behalf of everyone, thank you.
Your Jen hears that.
I think you mean all of us, Don, not some of us.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, maybe all.
Well, he's got us figured out already, doesn't he? We're very excited to have you here, Don. I know the Weavers are going to be chatting with you next week sometime.
Okay.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Because Don already volunteered a process.
Yeah, as did Angie. So.
As did Angie, yes, and
Thank
Teresa.
you.
So,
yeah.
Wow.
Very
And what's also exciting about this year, from what I understand, Bob, is that we're going to have some younger folks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to shift the average age of the room south a little bit, which is very exciting for us. We've had a number of folks here before. Nicole, who was in the picture there with Barb a few minutes ago, here, and her daughter there she is. We're here the last couple of years. Barb, I assume you're giving Nicole and Jennifer the registration telephone number so they can call tomorrow. And so yeah, we're very excited about some young folks that are here.
Yeah, and then we have a couple from the ranch, because every year we do a thing where we invite, the ranch is always so good to our group that we invite, I think up to 3 people from the ranch. And I know there's 2 young ladies that are very excited about coming, trying to clear their schedule to join us. So definitely we'll be bringing down the age.
Right. So I wanted just to open questions
Donna wants to.
Donna?
Donna Forrest.
Yes, I just wanted to say another young person is the young lady that's coming with me. She just turned 30, so she'll bring a fresh new voice.
Yahoo!
Wonderful. Thank you, Donna.
Awesome. And Donna hasn't been with us. She was here with us the first year. This is her return year, and that's because she started a business. And you want to just briefly tell us what that is, Donna?
Well, actually, I also joined you in 2015, I think, but it's because of Barbara Marks Hubbard in the first Co-Creators Convergence that I said, well, I must do this. So I have a private care management practice, and this year is extra special because I'm on the verge of launching virtual services doing this, and that will launch after the convergence. I thought that would be an appropriate timing.
That's right, baby. We'll amp you up with lots of energy.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So does anyone else have any questions or thoughts they'd like to share?
Or Elsie, want to join in? You heard from everybody?
Hey, all you crazy women out there, men and women. I just want to say I love you, and hopefully I will not miss you. I have left the calendar open for that week. I am still in the process of manifesting the money, but I am now in the middle of all of you amazing manifestors. So if you want to send me a little love energy that way, that it shows up, I would really appreciate that. Being younger and in the middle of raising kids and going to Dom and her Italy myself this year, I have run out of play money. So hopefully that one job will show up and I'll get that play money back. So
well, maybe we have to devise a payment plan for you.
Oh yeah. You tell Sunrise Ranch that they got to do that.
Oh, okay. Never say never.
Or actually an intention plan.
Mm-hmm. Donna Forrest says an intention plan.
Right.
Well, like I said, on the calendar, I have scheduled nothing for that week. So on purpose. So you never know. It happens.
Your seat also awaits. One of the things that
Elsie wanted to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, Elsie.
Well,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say hello to everyone, and this will be my third visit to the Convergence, and I'm looking forward to it as always. And it's like Talia said, you know, we've become a soul family, and you're part of my community, and I have such a wonderful connection with several of you through Facebook, you know, during the time when I'm not there, and just really looking forward to being back in that energy and being able to take all of that in, so that when I leave, it'll take me a month to process or longer. We were laughing about that with the last call, about how it takes a bit, you know, after we're there to process what's happened. But I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you all and to meeting all of you who are new to the Convergence. Welcome.
Thank you.
And this is Donna again. I just wanted to say, even though I'm not with you on Facebook and I haven't been able to be there every year, I still feel connected in many ways to everyone, and just am profoundly grateful for the sacred space all of the co-creators have held on our planet, and have been so welcoming to all of us in all ways.
Mm. Thank you.
Bless you, Donna.
Thank you, Donna. That's awesome.
And Barb,
we love you.
Flo Bonamasso is ready to speak.
Oh, she is she? This will be my 4th year at Co-Creators Convergence.
Me too.
Yeah, and I was brought by Shanti Hart-Hollinger, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into the first year, and I just am so pleased that I said yes and went, and I made some of the best friends of my life, and I'm very excited about learning all the things that I have learned there and more, and I appreciate all of you and can't wait to see you all.
Thank you. Thanks.
I wanted to add very quickly, for all of you who are Kathy Mason recruits, that I'm one of her folks as well. As my publisher and my now very, very good friend. So just thought I'd put myself in that circle for a little bit.
Fantastic. It's
awesome.
One of the other things that's been mentioned a number of times through the evening, and Noelle's introduction of some of the early history of the Convergence, is the invoking the name of our I'll call her the Co-Creators Convergence godmother, Barbara Marks Hubbard. And Noelle and I are blessed to have spent a lot of time with her last summer, because she has lived on Sunrise Ranch for the last 2.5 years. She lives in a house about 200 feet in that direction, right out the window here. And And so one of the things, there have been many tributes for Barbara. We just got a copy of the New York Times obituary that was just published yesterday, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And there have been many events,
It's
activities.
on our Facebook page.
Oh, and Noel put it on the Facebook page. Thank you. And there have been many events, tributes, and others that are planned for Barbara and to bring what she has into so many people's lives. There may be some of you who have never met Barbara or have never read her books. That first year, probably there were a third of the people that had actually studied with her in 2012, and a third of the people of the Convergence were aware of her, had read her books, and a third really didn't know who she was. But this converging that has happened and has evolved has great roots within her energy and her love and her commitment to humanity. And so one of the things that the Weavers are still discussing and welcome any suggestions to is how we might invoke Barbara's spirit into this year's event. She's always with us. The last 2 years she's been at the ranch but unavailable to be at the Convergence. But Kate Roberts mentioned earlier the evening before, for people who arrived, got to go over to her house and just sit and visit with her. Or in the case of Barbara, most of the time, listen to her, which is wonderful. And so if anyone has thoughts or ideas about how we might thread that heritage, which is energetically so powerful in this community, in whatever ways that might be, we're open for suggestions tonight and any time that you might want to get a hold of any of us.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the Weavers want to talk about that at all?
Well, I don't, you know, I don't think any of us would be here if it wasn't for Barbara. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she's the reason why we came together originally. And I think we owe it to her to honor her at this Co-Creators Convergence.
Yeah, and I can say this, we haven't talked a lot about that yet, but you know, it just seems fitting that we should do more than just your typical tribute and, you know, talk about all the wonderful things that she's contributed to the world. I believe that we can co-create something even more special than that. And maybe it's just, you know, really sending her and our gratitude in just a really special way, because we know that, you know, she can hear that and experience it from us. But yeah, I'm excited to see what transpires with that.
I have a thought. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, obviously I'm not going to be there, but, you know, the voice of co-creation, if Barbara wasn't the voice of co-creation, or creation for that matter, for those of us that have, you know, spent a lot of time with her, you know, something, and this might trigger an idea, this might not be the exact one, but, you know, to take, you know, even, you know, those 4 days, maybe there's 4, you know, from the 52 codes, maybe there's something that can be enacted or you know, a talent show around or something, you know, because I know that within those 52 codes, really that was so much the heart of her voice, and it's an easy way to get people involved in something like that. So I just thought that's what came to me in the moment, and I decided I would just let that trickle out, and maybe something from, you know, that or something else, but that's definitely her voice.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Shelley, and it's something so recent, you know, that she offered. So, yeah, thanks.
And I had another thought. One of the ways that I introduced Barbara's work to the young lady that's coming with me is we watched many of her videos and interviews on Gaia TV. I'm wondering if we could have snippets of that, because when I think of Barbara, it is that absolutely delightful laugh that just fills me with joy. If we could have that be part of our convergence, that would be lovely.
Thank you for the suggestion, Donna. This is Bob. We're agree completely. Noelle, and then I want to ask, Angie had her hand up also.
Okay. I just want to know, is there anybody on the call who is not familiar with Barbara Marx Hubbard? Because we've made an assumption that everyone here is familiar with her. Okay, so Angie just a little bit. And I guess, so we need to keep that in mind when we do something.
Sure.
The other thing I would say is, in terms of memorializing Barbara, is that she was always about trying to get the youth involved, and that maybe CCC could establish some kind of scholarship for so anybody is under the age of 21 to be able to come to CCC, something like that. You know, if we can, you know, generate enough funds for that, that will be awesome. And you know, right now CCC does have some money in the bank, and it was that year we had the alien stuff. We did make some money that year. The alien thing brought the house down. So
it was Dave's performance of Edgar Mitchell that brought it.
Yeah, there you go. That's a very memorable year. So, but they've all. That's the thing about CCC is every year the energy and what we create just gets wilder and wilder, and that's why I know that Shelley's really going to miss it. Linda's going to make it. We're going to have some incredible healers there. So, you know.
Let Angie talk.
But okay, so that's just
not having and hawing.
What'd she say?
I don't know.
What'd you say? Okay, and
I don't know if this is the group for it or not, but I come from, you know, a priestess line of tradition, and so they're still with us. And so what we would do is just somebody would channel them, and we would talk to them and hear the words and express our love and appreciation and just communicate with them and commune with them. So I don't know, you know, if channeling is something this group does or not, or if anybody does, but that's what I would do instead of, you know, something like they're really super far away. They're not. Just bring them in.
Well, can I say something?
You're muted, Bob.
I think I stunned everybody. Okay,
No,
I guess it wasn't the group to talk about that.
No, absolutely.
Sorry.
channels.
Yeah,
there's quite a few here that do channel.
That's a spectacular idea.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Spectacular idea.
I did want to add quickly for Donna's benefit when she, I loved what you said about Barbara's laugh and hearing her laugh. And I'm not sure if this was mentioned or not at some point about 20, 30 minutes back on the call, that Bob and Noelle are sitting here wearing huge clown bow ties, Donna and Teresa, and they're also on the telephone. So yeah, just thought that was very fitting.
Yes, we had a little laughter yoga last year. So we do incorporate laughter and fun into the event. So
wow,
it's a real
well, and she always talked about being newer. I mean, how many people do you hear saying that in their 80s? But there's just something every time, even in person or anytime I've heard her speak or present, just that laughter is just so her.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It is wonderful to hear her laughter. And also reiterating something that Shelley was saying about the 52 codes. I mean, that is almost like, that is like channeling her. I feel it comes through. It's sort of like, well, about once a week, I get together with, Barb mentioned Shanti Hart. She's my Akashic Record pod mate. And we have to pick a code. I mean, it's like, okay, show us a code that relates to us right now. That would be, that would bring us, and it's such an inspirational start to our, well, or if it's not the beginning of it, it's like, oh, come on, it's time. Let's kickstart this, get down to what's really going on here. And it's like each time it's, whew. Okay, it's so right on to where we're at. It's like Barbara's being channeled right there in the moment in that time. So I love that. And I'm all for, priestess channels too. I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been a great call. Thank you so much for doing this and for all of us coming together.
I just want to throw in, I'm not a channel, so I'm not offering to do it. So, but if anybody else had the ability, I think that would be really great.
Well, that's exactly the way it works, Angie. Is
I'm volunteering somebody else.
Yes, the ideas flow, and the appropriate human form that
It'll happen.
is supposed to be at that, or number of people. Then that's where it happens. It's magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's magic.
I think you should pass out Regenipause pills. Everybody.
I think we should have some super sex.
I'm taking notes.
Super sex.
These are Barbara terms. You join genius, not your genes, when you have super sex, when you co-create. So that was one of her terms. We would have supra sex.
Supra.
Yes, joining your genius, not your genes.
And she always enjoyed after an event declaring this, asking the question, what just happened here? And so there are many of us joyful in knowing her love and presence in another realm now, that assumed that was her first words in the new realm, was what just happened here, when she left the form. And we
There's
like to think
definitely
that'll
a Barbara language.
Yeah, that'll be how we'll all feel on Sunday afternoon. What just happened here?
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, I know you guys are going to be sending some things out, but the first night there's going to be the campfire, right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so we walk a little bit up there. If anybody has mobility issues, I know you guys can take care of that. But people may want to bring a jacket because it does cool down in the mountains here. So comfortable walking shoes.
Right. So everyone's been here before knows this, but we'll be sending out notes that are things like, the environment in the main room that we spend time in, a water bottle with the cover on it, journal, clothes, and a flashlight for our walk up for our walk up and to get cooled down, and for our walk back in the dark from the fire pit, and those kind of details. So if there's any questions, and particularly those that are new, again, those that are listening to this recording that are first time this year, it was our commitment as Weavers to, for each of us to adopt one of our first year people. So, you're welcome to call any of us, email us, or contact the person that touch base with you.
I have one other question. In the past, we've been asked to bring something for the main altar. Are we doing that?
Where's that discussion right now? I honestly can't remember. Any of the Weavers want to refresh my memory?
Oh, yes. We did talk about that last week, in fact, because some of the things that we typically do at the altar will be different. So if people can remember to bring something, they certainly are going to be invited to do that for the altar. Yeah.
That will be in the letter then.
Yeah, so if there's something precious to you that you want to have in the energy of the circle the whole time and take with you again when you leave, please bring that, whatever that might be.
Okay. And remember the stretch pants.
I need a
She's probably going to tell you to bring a red nose, too. I don't know.
Where do you get those bow ties from? That's what I want to know.
Wow.
Dina, you were going to say something serious.
The food really is delicious.
So seriously, stretch.
It's seriously stretch pants.
That's actually what yoga pants are for. Really, that's what the yoga pants are for.
Right.
You guys are just validating how I dress all the time.
Okay. Well, if anyone has anything else, this is the last call, and we're going to go for a walk out through the ranch.
Oh, and it's been really, really warm here.
Yeah.
Up into even the 80s, which seems like too warm for here.
Well, that's a month from now. Okay.
Yeah. So it might be warmer.
So, anyone else?
Will you be having any more Zoom calls before the convergence?
We don't have anything planned. No.
No. Oh, yeah, 'cause this is May already. Would you possibly have a Zoom for the people who are not there in person?
You mean during the event?
Yeah, so we could all gather and say hi.
We did talk about that actually. Last year was the first time we really beamed in people, I think, to participate with us live.
Ellie did it
Previous
daily.
to that, we had done some interviewing by satellite or remotely, but we did talk about that we could, for one of our processes or maybe the Barbara Marx Hubbard tribute or some point, we would find a way to beam people in who wanted to participate remotely. Not quite sure how that would look yet.
I think that'd be awesome.
Thank you for the question, Linda. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, how shall we call it an evening? Thank you all so much. This has been a delight. For all those watching this on the recording, we love you. We're looking forward to you being with us in the circle, including you, Jennifer, and
Nicole.
And Nicole. And
Linda.
We love you
Shelley.
all dearly and look forward. If anybody has any questions, just get in touch with us.
Yeah, can't wait.
Bye-bye.
Woohoo! Yay!
Aloha.
Aloha, everyone.
Peace and blessings, all.
Peace out.
Love you. Bye. I think we're muted.
Stop.